Okay, we are going to whip right through this lesson in painting our painted papers. I am using this Chromatemp paint, which is a tempera paint. I think it's the best quality. You use whatever you've got. I love this tempera paint because it's a lovely consistency. It's more juicy than, it's more light. Okay, so I never use a plain color out of the container. I always mix. So since that one's fairly light, this is a heavier, this is also Chroma acrylic. So I'm mixing acrylic and tempera, which you can do because they are both water-based. I've got a brush. You could use anything to mix them together. If you're not super experienced with mixing paint, this is just a fun thing. Just put yourself in your kindergarten mode. The teacher just told you to take two colors and mix them together. I will warn you not to mix opposite colors because you're going to get gray. So I love pastels. Pastel basically means you're adding white to a color. So I've got now a lavender. It's a pastel purple. And you can see the consistency here is heavier than heavy cream, just slightly heavier. Not as thick as a yogurt, and it would pour. And I think this'll work. If you get it too thick, it won't. So I'm gonna have another color. What am I gonna have? I think I just love this white thing. I love to just use white. And so I've got to mix some white. And white is one thing that I would use without mixing too much. I have an extreme glitter here. There's a lot of different things you could add to white to get maybe a glittery effect. So there I go with white. I'm gonna mix that with another brush. And it's still too thick. Too thick, won't pour. You know, it might work okay. I'm gonna add a tad of water. These don't always have to be all the same consistency. Especially if you're gonna dab. You can dab with a thicker paint, but you don't wanna. There I go, I've mixed that up. When I'm teaching young children, they like the mixing part. And one more color. I'm gonna make this simple. Violet, white. Well, all right, I'm gonna take my purple again. I almost think I could use this purple as it is, but I've got a basic. This is the Liquitex basic color. It's super duper thick. Ugh. I'm gonna use a fork to try to, yeah, this is an old paint. I don't know if I can use it. No, skip that. What else have we got here? I thought I brought a blue to this party, but all right, this is what happens when I, what'll happen? I'm not sure about this. I'm gonna try it. I'm not sure about mixing this color. Not sure what's gonna happen. So I'm just gonna add a little bit. I'm gonna try to mix it together. And we're gonna see what happens. Oh, I do kind of like that. So that's what I would encourage you to do, is play with mixing some colors until you get something you like. And hey, if you overmix with something you don't like, then you can always toss it. This is on a nice firm paper plate. You don't want the kind that is too droopy. You'll have trouble. And I like this white, but it's still, well, I'm going to get started with this. I've got 3 colors. And I'm going to start by painting the background. I'm going to use the biggest brush I have and get this job done. This is I put it on sort of thick. This is a basic piece of computer paper. I told you you could use it, and this is my demo. If you have some drawing paper that's fairly thin, larger, you could do that. So I still got some more of this. I'm just going to pour it right on there. It's another piece of computer paper. Going to pour it right on and spread it out sort of thick. This is where I tell my students, put your kindergarten on, because if you're older, it can be juicy. You don't want to paint this like a wall. All right, I'm going to toss a little on here. Now, I am moving over to the blue that I created, a bluish purple. I'm going to switch over here to that. Then you can mix your colors right on the paper if you like, and sometimes I do. And it's not completely mixed. It's a nice streaky thing going on there, which I love. And am I going to try to have a piece that's white underneath? Yeah, maybe. A little thick, but let's try it. Put it on there. And spread it around. This brush isn't ideal. Oh, it's mixing in already with some of the blue that I spilled. So, you know, this is fabulous. And I might go over here and grab a little of the purple to mix in. And so it does not have to be perfect, as you can see. It's a little thicker. These are a little thinner. That's step 1. Next, we're going to grab a sponge. I'm going to get it just a tiny bit wet because it's too okay. I have painted 1 coat of color of these 2 are the same. This one's different. This is an acrylic. Here's a couple of our mixes. So let's move on. I've got a sponge here. It's dry. So I am gonna just soften it up a little bit. If you have a very soft brush, you won't need to get it wet, but this was soft, a little firmer than what I wanted. I totally got all the water out, so it's dry essentially, damp. And I'm going to start sponging. So let's see. I've got my sponge and I'm going to dip it in the white here. And I'm going to dab it around. You may have a different kind of sponge. I'm going to dab it on the blue. And you see the blue carries over to the purple here. I dab it on the blue and dab on the purple. What'll happen if I dab it on the white? Oh, that's kind of fun. All right, so not too much dabbing. I don't want the whole thing dabbed. I just dab here and there. And now I'm going to grab one of my golds and I am going to, what do I do? Stick it in one of these, maybe. And I'm going to grab this brush and I'm going to tap. This is, I don't really want to do this, but I want to dip and dab, okay? Dip and dab is what I call this. Dip, dab, spread it around. For consistency, I'm going to dip and dab on all of the colors, all of the papers. This could turn into a little bit more of a, sometimes I do that. I don't like it on that particularly. You do what you like with your colors. This is where we're playing and having fun. Put your kindergarten on. If you start dabbing on one, you say, I don't really like that, then stop. All right, now it's time to get out the fork. My fork is already blue, so I'm going to take some of that. You notice I'm wearing gloves, works. And I'm going to start forking, for lack of a better term. And I'm going to fork differently on each one. There I go. This is sort of like that. Am I going to stop there? I'm going to do some crisscrosses. On this one, I'm going to swirl a little bit. And you do what you want to do. And on this one, I'm going to do, ooh, look at how that pink shows through. How'd that happen? I don't know. That's the fun and excitement. And don't overthink this at all. Just, you see how fast this goes? You spend all day trying to make the perfect paper. It's not fun. All right. Now I have these lovely things and I could end there. So that's what I'm saying. If you like that, you can save that. And here's another thing that I do, part of my special technique. This came accidentally to me. I was trying to get it to dry quicker. So I took another sheet of computer paper. I'm going to lay it on here and carefully, lightly press. Then I'm gonna peel it back. Okay, it's called taking a print. So now I've got two pieces. This one, it's still got a lot of white showing. So I'm gonna do it again. Press it everywhere because I'm doubling my, ooh, now I'm starting to like that. And you gotta put this somewhere to dry. I like it just as it is. So you gotta have a drying spot. If you have no room, then you can. I often will buy one of those dollar tablecloths at the dollar store. Spread it out on the floor. You can put it on the porch. You can put it in your basement. You can put it anywhere you've got room. And this is not very interesting so far. All right, I have, maybe I'm gonna want sort of a plain piece. You don't wanna always have too much. Yeah, it has a nice, you get to get a pull and you get a nice texture from something like this. Save your both pieces because we're gonna use these and these. I kind of like the blobs right there. I could, on this white, I could potentially just keep that as a paper just as it is. It's got a lot of beautiful texture to it. I'm tempted to do that. And then I'm also tempted just to try and see what will happen if I take a print. First I'll go here. I'm going to take a print while I'm contemplating this. Let's see what I'm doing. All right. Ooh. 1, 2. Should I do it again? Maybe I'll take half. Press it down, lift it up, see what happens. Yeah, that's lovely. Now I'm going to, I've got this one here that's not as interesting. I'm going to take this one that I just created and plunk it down here. And I'm adding some blue to that. What do I think? Don't overthink it. There it is. I've got two interesting papers. Got to save this one. And I'm still debating about whether to take a print of this white one or leave it just like it is, in case I can't decide. So I'm gonna do half, see what happens. Press down half and take a print. That's what I call taking a print. Oh yeah, I like it. I'm gonna keep on going. Do the whole thing. Yes, and this is interesting, but it's not enough. What'll happen if I put it down on some other thing I've got here? I'm gonna take this, press it on here. And this will be the last one I do. I'm not overthinking it. I'm just having fun. Ooh, I think I like it so much, I'm gonna press it down here. Nah, it didn't really work. And look at it, sort of ruined that. So I'm done. And I hope that you are done. If you are not, you've seen what you can do. And honestly, I'm doing this at my dining room table. So if you've got no space to do anything like this, you can create some space. See you in the next video where we talk about drying our papers, how to dry them, how to flatten them, and I'll tell you a little bit about how I organize them.